This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Regional Medical Center.
Oh, this year's flu season may have you avoiding medical facilities for fear that whatever may be wrong with you is not worth risking picking up that nasty virus that's going around.
Let's be clear, we're not discouraging you from seeking medical treatment, but if you just need some answers to some medical questions, well, we bring you Ask the Doc. With us this afternoon, Chief Informatics Officer and Hospitalist Dr. Chris Snyder, joining us to answer these questions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I'm going to elbow my way in here real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
My niece has just been diagnosed with the flu. Bless her little heart.
Aww.
Miserable.
We talked about the flu yesterday on the show. So the question now is, how long are you contagious when you've been diagnosed with flu?
Yeah, so it's kind of variable depending on the human. So, but typically a week once you start your true symptoms of aching, fever, and all that good stuff. The question is, how long are you contagious prior to symptoms being there? So we don't know that answer. So yeah, because you got to remember, you're walking around an environment, it just kind of creeps up on you. It doesn't have a start and stop to it. Kind of progresses up and then back down. So unsure of the specifics of that, but unfortunately you can't predict that unless you have some sort of measurement from symptoms. So it's tough, but it's about a week after, anywhere from 3 to 7 days probably.
But you want to make sure you don't go back to work or school or whatever until some of the certain symptoms are
hand hygiene, wash those hands. You know, again, touching things, sharing. You know, the elbow bump is really it's real. So viruses are innately hand to hand, or you're aspirating those things when you breathe with each other. So close contact is definitely going to create more of a viral exchange.
So when can we go back?
When can you go back?
Yeah.
Typically once your fevers resolve and your achiness goes away. Those are typically the return to normal activity. But that can take a while, and many of these folks know it's 6 weeks of symptoms sometimes.
Oh, wow.
With cough and upper respiratory problems. So yeah, we're seeing a ton of it. It's unfortunate.
I think you need to stay away from your niece. I'm sorry.
Lisa, I love you dearly, but...
Okay, isolation.
Isolation. Okay, the next question. This is a good one. I've been wondering about this. Probiotics seem to be the thing these days. What are they and how do they help us?
So they're basically yeast that helps retain the normal flora. Your body has bacteria on it constantly. It's normal. Antibiotics are probably the worst offender of killing the normal flora and taking that away from folks. It's a protective mechanism from your environment. So when you get rained on, your skin sloughs the water, right? Well, there's bacteria that help protect you from the environment. In your colon is the biggest area where you see probiotics used medically. There are some studies that show that taking probiotics while you're on antibiotics prevents you from getting Clostridium difficile, which is a very bad infection you can get in your colon from being on antibiotics. So probiotics do have a play in the world, but it's very limited, and really that's the only science that we have to use that tool for.
Ah, okay, all right. So the day is coming, March 11th, is that right? Daylight saving time? So we're going to spring forward. So is there
we lose an hour. We lose an hour of sleep.
An hour of sleep.
So ready.
Is there an impact on our body from trying to make that adjustment?
Well, you know, I always ask, every individual is different. You know, we have that SAD syndrome, which is associated with seasonal affective disorder. Right. So absolutely, yeah, the seasons affect us. I know personally it affects me. My patients, you know, you got to pretend that it's not there, but it's really there. So that daylight, that sun has an effect on actually what's called vitamin D. Everybody's heard of that. And there is some relationship to that we don't necessarily know about, but clearly the sun is a magical tool for a lot of us. It can also be dangerous if you get too much of it, but in the sense of making you feel better, absolutely. Springing forward is a very positive event, and I know it is in my life.
It is in my life.
Amen.
We discussed this yesterday.
I discovered there's 2 6 o'clocks in the day.
Anyway,
I get it.
Okay, this is a very interesting question. I have long suspected that my loved one should take anxiety medication, but I just can't bring myself to talk to him about it. Any suggestions?
Well, anxiety, again, a lot of it's situational. So anxiety is a very difficult thing to deal with. Bipolar disorder has a component of manic behavior and anxiety disorders. Anxiety is one of those things that's typically, like I said, situational. Throwing controlled benzodiazepines is what we usually use for that, or antidepressants. One of them is controlled and can be fairly addictive. It's similar to the way alcohol affects you. It actually depresses you or suppresses you. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You got to be real careful. I'm not sure meds are the answer for that versus psychotherapy, but again, follow with your primary doctor, talking about those things as a couple, if it's a married couple or they're having challenges with relationship behind that, it's probably something that needs to be discussed openly first before you throw pills at it.
Never hurts talking to your doctor. Okay, so we got this one. A few people have told me that I should have my child tested for a sensory disorder. What are some red flags that might indicate a sensory issue?
That's really interesting. You know, there's this population of people who have these neurologic disorders. We don't know what they're caused by. It is what it is as far as genetics too. It's very similar to the autism type spectrum, where they tend to have responses that aren't normal to the environment. Your sensories are your eyes, your nose, smell, taste, feeling, pain, all those wonderful sensories. Some people have an elevated pain syndrome. Is that a sensory syndrome? Probably. So they don't tolerate pain well, or they sense pain with just the wind blowing. So how do you define that? It's a very challenging diagnosis. Recognizing this early on in a child's life is probably a good thing. There's a lot of medical lack of knowledge around this because it's not one of those things you can just order a lab for and say, hey, it's there. So it's a very, very subjective and a very challenging thing to deal with. These folks tend to have situational issues, anxiety associated with a lot of the average things that you and I do every day. Just eating or a sound can trigger them to have withdrawal and fear, and actually hiding closets, for example.
Wow.
And then the opposite can happen. They can have no response to their environment, which is the opposite. So it's a spectrum that's really not well understood, but it definitely needs to be addressed. And usually your neurologists are the ones that manage that, or your psychotherapist, psychologist.
Yeah. Dr. Snyder, as always.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Elbow bump there, yeah.
We'll pass it on.
All right, we'll see you next month, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you have any questions you'd like to answer, let us know. You can connect with us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Our handle is @DelmarvaLife. You can call us at 443-880-9116, or you can email us comments at delmarvalife.com. Remember, you will remain anonymous.